What's going on, folks? Man, I'm sitting here with the man Chad Clifton, owner of Power Brakes, and we just wanted to get together this afternoon. It's a beautiful December day here in Oklahoma at the shop, Power Brakes headquarters, worldwide headquarters, right here in Coweta, Oklahoma, and talk a little bit about kind of how Chad you got the business going, got it off the ground, and the fun that you've had over the past year and a half, kind of doing this.
Yeah, it's been fun. The way we got started was we was hearing about people putting trolling motors on the back of their boats for brakes, and so I did that. And my knees are too bad to get down on my hands and knees and hang over the edge of the boat and do it. So I was like, I'm gonna build me a bracket for that, and I did. I still have it. It's the Frankenstein bracket. And I had it on my boat. It was great. Everybody at the ramp was like, "Hey, that's what I need." And I'm like, I don't really want to do this as a job, but I was fishing there at Gentry Creek, and an old man, 70s or so. I say, oh, it's not that old anymore, but he fell in adjusting his brakes in February, and about killed him. I was like, I'll build you a set of brakes, some arms for him. And so I built him a set. And I wasn't happy with them, so I bought some more equipment to do them right. Pretty soon, I was really heavily invested in this one set. So I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have to sell some of these." So I picked up some good guides that fish every day to put them on their boat. Les Stan Cipher was the first one, and I give them a set of brakes and tell them break them as fast as you can, so I know what needs to be fixed. And man, he'd break them every week, and I'd fix it. Pretty soon, I didn't talk to him. I hadn't talked to him in a couple of months. So I called him and asked him, said, "Well, how are they?" He said, "Man, I can't break them. They're ready." So that's when we launched. So we've been working on it for about a year before we started selling.
Before we actually started selling them, yeah,
Yeah,
I think it was
maybe even more than a year.
been right at about a year and a half. We've been selling them now.
Yeah, yeah,
Staying busy. I remember the first time I saw him on the back of Les's boat. I thought that's brilliant.
yeah.
I didn't know you at the time. I didn't.
Right,
I didn't know anything about it. I just was at a tournament and noticed them, and I was like, man, these things stow and deploy like a trolling motor,
right,
like a bow mount trolling motor. No getting on your hands and knees. No wrestling it. It's just very simple, very easy. I mean, we've got multiple videos out of young children
right,
stowing and deploying these motors. And we're talking about the game changer right now, the
right.
first design,
Yeah, the
the
original.
manual stow and deploy. And now obviously we've got sidekick out with it that mounts onto talons or power poles or
Yeah,
should have said raptors, not talons, raptors.
Raptors.
I always get those two mixed up. But
Yeah, Raptors and power poles.
how has kind of life changed for you? You've never really been involved in this industry as heavily as you are now,
Right.
obviously.
Yeah, I was just a fisherman. I didn't know any of the national fishermen. I didn't follow anybody. I was just a fisherman. They put a limit in the boat. But now I know them all, or at least heard of them all.
Yeah.
Um, most of them are running my brakes. That's how I know them now.
Yeah, I mean, you've got the highest level crappie professionals out there running these breaks, all the way down to the guy that fishes 3, 4 times a year.
Absolutely.
And that's the beauty of it. We've really worked hard to keep them affordable, to your everyday fisherman.
And that's the hardest chore that I have is keeping the price down. We have everything is machined, everything is precise, the best stuff you can buy, and using all that stuff, keeping the price down is hard, and still making some money. We have to make money to keep everything going, but it is hard keeping the price down.
It's yeah, I mean, business 101, you got to turn a profit to keep everything rolling. Can't do this for free, obviously, but I respect the heck out of the the last 2 years I've been involved with you and known you, how hard you work to keep that price point as low as you can, while obviously keeping the business afloat. I know when you're dealing with overseas stuff and getting different parts, you got taxes and you got big things you got to pay, import taxes and excise tax and all kinds of stuff that you got to
Right.
pay. And so you got to keep all that calculated, figured out. You know, I always hound you about your numbers, numbers.
Yeah.
Got to know your numbers in order to, you know, keep this ball rolling. And it's been a lot of fun for me to watch you mature in the business and the way that you interact with customers now. Because I know that you've got a love for all the customers that Power Brakes has.
And you know, my family and my close buddies tease me about that because in general, I don't like people. And I've been in self-employed my whole life. And I shut one business down to start this one. And I was just totally fed up with people. I didn't want to talk to nobody ever again. And now I answer the phone every time. I'm the one that talks to everybody. But it showed me that there's still a lot of good people out there. Every one of my customers are great. I've never had an angry one calling mad or anything. They call me and tell me their fishing stories, which is kind of cool. I listen to every one of them, and there's a lot of good people left out there.
Man, our customers are so loyal and great. We get so much promotion from them.
Customers are rock stars. Joe Alcada there in Wisconsin, he called me. He was early on. He ordered a set early on, and I noticed he was my first sale in Wisconsin. So I gave him about 3 months, and I called him, asked him, said, "Hey, how's it going?" You know, and that surprised him. That I'd call him and just check on him. But then he called me this last August and said, "Hey, I want you to come up here and fish with me, show you how us walleye guys use brakes." And it was August, we're slow. I was like, yeah. I jumped on a plane and went right up there the next week and got to fish Lake Michigan, one on my bucket list. And it was neat. They use them a little different way than crappie guys use them. They use them more like a bass guy would, and he's dominating everything he does up there. And more and more people are starting to get him up there, so he's starting to have to work a little harder to win. But he had a good run while it lasted.
Absolutely.
But he's still the king cat daddy up there.
Tough to beat
Or
up
one
there.
of them.
Walleye fishing, smallmouth fishing,
Yeah.
all that up on the Great Lakes. I mean, Joe's a great guy. Wonderful trip up there. Glad you were able to do that and make that happen.
Yeah.
Going into 2025, we've got big plans. We've
Big
got
plans.
big plans. We've got new products that we're trying to get dialed in. You guys obviously stay tuned for that. That's going to be a lot of fun. But we got show season right around the corner. Give us a quick.
We're doing a lot of shows. The first one is in Kansas City. It's January 9th through the 12th. I think it'll be a good show. Then 2 weeks later, we're all going to East Tennessee Tackle Show. They say that's a really, really good show.
Really busy show. Should be a real good one for us.
Yeah. And then we got a couple weeks off, and then the Pryor, Oklahoma show. That's a big one.
Very busy.
Busy.
Packed.
Yeah. And then we're both fishing the OCAT series this year.
Yep.
And I decided not to go to a show because it interfered with that, but we picked up another one on the tail end, so we get to fish all the OCATs. And then I'm undecided about the Oklahoma City show. I might go to it. And then in March, we got Crappie Fest at the end of March. But the week before that, we're going to the Classic in Fort Worth.
Fort Worth. Yep.
So we're going to do
Bassmaster Classic.
That's a huge show, probably the biggest of them all.
Yep.
And then I'm going to stay down there all week and fish and meet everybody. And then Crappie Fest happens. That's going to be, that's probably my highlight of the spring is Crappie Fest so far.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be mine. I can't wait for it.
Yeah, it's going to be cool. They're doing a lot of good stuff with it. And then the week after Crappie Fest is the Red Crest in Alabama. We're going to set up there. And that'll be cool. We got two really good chances of winning the Red Crest this year. Drew Gill and Matt Becker. Either one of them could win the Red Crest.
Both those guys are running our brakes.
Both of them running our brakes. We had another one, but he switched and went to the Bassmasters, which they can't run brakes during the tournaments now.
We got them banned.
Got them banned. You know, it's kind of cool. The first year that brakes were used in the Classic, it was our brakes that won the Classic.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
And
And immediately after the season was over, they
Yeah.
kicked us to the curb.
yeah.
Bassmasters said, no, we don't want none of this.
Right.
You can
And-
still have poles on there,
Yeah, you can still have everything else.
but not brakes.
Not
That gives you an
brakes.
unfair advantage.
Yeah, and I get it. Like I told Matt Penrack, you know, he can take a guy with a skill level of 5 or 6 on live scope, put power brakes on the back of his boat, boom, he's a 9 or a 10
Yeah.
without any other knowledge.
It's crazy the level of boat control that can increase you. I mean, we know a guide, and I won't call him out by name, down on Eufaula, that he would come in with, 40 or so fish most trips with two-man trips.
I think he'll know who you're talking
I
about.
think he'll know.
Yeah.
He'll know for
Yeah.
sure. And as soon as he put brakes on his boat, he started coming in with two-man limits, 74 fish. So it increased, and this is not just from his mouth, this is from all of our guide buddies down there
Right.
that know him and clean fish with him and stuff. So awesome to see. And we're seeing that in the bass world, which is why they've been taken away from some
Right.
of the trails out there. So
Yeah, the unfair advantage.
the unfair advantage gives you an unfair advantage.
Yeah, but that's what the everyday angler needs. You know, he works all day, works all week, works all month, and does all this stuff just so he can go fishing for 4 hours that weekend.
That's right. I mean, I've been saying it about LiveScope for 6 years now. We all have limited time to spend on the water. So I want to be as efficient as possible as I can be with that time.
Absolutely.
And brakes help me, power brakes specifically, help me be more efficient with my time on the water.
Yeah, and it ain't only having the equipment; it's having the equipment that you're not going to be mad at the end of the day. They're going to work from the start to the end. You know, you don't have to mess with them. You don't have to worry about them breaking. I mean, things happen, but for the most part, that's something you don't have to worry about. I've got brakes.
We were the first brake company out there that even thought about a breakaway system.
Right.
We're still running it to this day, figuring out as time goes on better ways to perfect it and move forward with our breakaway system. But that was revolutionary. I mean, that has saved thousands of trolling motor shafts from being snapped.
Yeah, and like the breakaway pin in the Game Changer in the manual system, it's just a Carter pin, so it's just real cheap. The breakaway pin that I use in the Sidekick, they're kind of expensive. You know, they're about $2 a piece. 'Cause I ordered the special thumb head breakaway bolt so you don't have to have any tools to put it on. You know, because you're reaching over the water, you don't want to drop your screwdriver or pair of pliers or something in the water.
Yeah.
And they're it's
But-
just the best we can come up with.
But a $2 bolt is a lot cheaper than replacing a $200 trolling motor.
Absolutely. You know,
So-
you can replace a lot of those $2 bolts and still be fishing
Yeah.
and not have to replace that shaft all the time.
Yeah, we don't, not having a bottom bracket on there has been key to, obviously, that breakaway system functioning properly. But it's key to just not breaking as many trolling motors. And it's
Yeah.
tough, that's a tough thing to accomplish with the engineering you've got to do with the brackets, but you've been successful with that with the sidekicks.
Yeah, that was my whole deal with the Sidekick. You know, we had the first model out. It was a short, stubby one, and we tried to do it without a bottom brace, but it needed a little bit more secure. So we replaced it with the longer bracket. Really stiffened it up. It's perfect now. It really is. And the few people that bought the first edition, they could trade their old ones in. I'd give them a brand new one, the updated version, at no cost. And I think I've done everybody so far. Everybody that has reached back out to me and said, "Hey, I see this new deal." That's the thing with us. I didn't want the old ones out in the market. because they wasn't the best. And now we have the best, and I want all them out there.
Yeah.
So I traded them in at my cost and fixed them up, and it's really worked good. I've had zero warranty issues out of, I don't know, we're knocking on 1,000 brakes now.
Yeah.
That just tells us we're doing it right. The quality.
Building them to last, making sure the quality's there, making sure to take care of the customers every day. I see it on every one of our customers' posts. They talked about how awesome it was to talk to Chad. Actually got to talk to the man himself, answered all their questions. Any issues they might have had, you took care of them, resolved them immediately. That's what keeps happy customers.
Yeah, and they're good people to start with, so that it really helps. Like I said, and I'll always say it, my customers are the best. I had no idea that there was still that many good people left in the world. I was really discouraged, but this has really given me a new outlook on our population, I guess.
It's definitely a different group of people. You get in this angling community, this fisherman community, fisherwoman community, and you're dealing with just, I call them God's people.
Yeah,
You know,
right.
salt of the earth type people, give you the shirt off their back, most of them. So it's been a lot of fun. The last thing I want to talk about, Chad, today is, you mentioned a little bit, but going into 2025, some of the fun we're going to get to have. You mentioned we're both going to be fishing the Oklahoma Crappie Anglers Club tournaments
Yeah, against each other.
against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm fishing with Norman Vaughn, and you're
Yeah.
fishing with
Bob Noble.
Bob Noble. So we both got some great partners, and we'll have some friendly wagers,
Yes.
I'm sure,
Yeah.
along that trail. But another thing we've talked about doing, after we went to this Arkansas Crappie Trail tournament,
Mm-hmm.
and had such a good time and enjoyed meeting all those guys and gals there, we'd like to start hitting some other club tournaments across the country.
Absolutely.
And obviously we can't fish every one of them, but showing up for one or two or whatever and having some fun doing that.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. You know, we went into the Arkansas Trail at the pizza place, not knowing, I didn't know but one or two people, and I probably had 10 customers there that
Yeah.
bought brakes, maybe more. And so they knew me, they knew you, so we got to meet them, and it was good. They're just as good people as we have here, you know.
So fun to show up somewhere kind of randomly like
Yeah.
that, and they're not expecting you, and pop in, and they welcome you with open arms.
Yeah.
I mean, I felt so welcome there and comfortable, and
That's the difference between bass tournaments and crappie tournaments, I
Yeah.
think.
yeah, it's so competitive in bass tournaments. I mean, this is the example I'll give. We spent enough money just going to that tournament with travel and entries and memberships and all that. We could have won first place. We still would have lost some money,
Right.
right?
Right.
On what we spent to go there and do it. So we're not going there. We want to go compete, but we want to go there and have fun, meet the people, meet the customers, meet the future customers,
Right.
and really just connect with the industry on a level that hasn't been done in some time now. When you're talking about a business owner, an associate, connecting with the industry at that level, and that excites me.
Yeah, and another deal that I get out of it is, you know, we don't know everything. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know everything there is to know about how everybody fishes and uses brakes. So we get to talk to the Arkansas angler. We get to talk to the Kentucky angler about how he's using them, and each one of them use them a little different, and which is kind of cool. And then we can, if we see the need, we can cater a little bit of our product to them to help them be more successful on the style that they're using them. We're putting them on pontoon boats. We got them on a big cabin cruiser ski boat, which I don't know, but we just sold a set. The guy that he wanted 2 sets, and I tried to talk him into just buying one at a time because they're expensive. And he told me, he said, no. He said, I bought both boats at the same time. I'm rigging both boats at the same time. And they just know what they want. And which is good, makes it easy for us. But most of them do their research. They look at everything out there, and they need to, because this is not a $10 item. You know,
It's an investment.
it's an investment. It's not. We feel that it's not. It don't cost as much as a live scope or a front trolling motor or anything like that, but it bridges the gap between them, and it's not something somebody can go out and buy once a year. I don't feel like, and so that's why we try to keep it below a certain price point so everybody can afford it. We got financing and all that stuff, which people use a lot of. It works really good the way we're doing it.
If they're anything like me, every redneck I know has something that they can sell if there's another item that they want more than that.
Right. Yeah, there's
I've been seeing that for 6 or 7 years now in this industry, and it just cracks me. I sold my four-wheeler so I could buy this.
yeah, and I've been in that same boat. You know, when my oldest daughter went to college, I sold my Ranger boat and my four-wheeler to buy her a car to go to college. And I remind her of that all the time.
Oh, I bet you do. I'm glad you do.
But yeah, it's a product that you know, the people that get new boats every other year or something, they don't have to buy the new product. They just move this product over to that one, because it's still just as good as new.
And there's all kinds of things you can do to rehab them if they're getting a little worn out, things like that. Check out our videos on our maintenance stuff and things like that. And we'll continue to post that stuff.
Yeah.
You guys stick with us, because we want to document a lot of these adventures we're going to be going on in 2025. I'm super excited about it. I know Chad is. Kind of got a fire relit back under both of us. So you guys stick with us and check us out at mypowerbrakes.com.